how's everybody doing? Welcome to Dr. Lanew's Story Time. I'm Dr. Lanew, and we got Miss Ray on the panel, ready to go. Miss Ray, how's things going today? How's your Sunday going?
It's going great. How's yours?
It's going great. Been a little busy morning, getting things ready for the show, getting things ready for our April 7th show. I'm looking forward to that. We got three great writers coming in on that show to talk about publishing and editing their story, how their stories. So I'm looking forward to that. I'm really looking forward to our guest today.
Yes, me too.
Yes, yes. But let's first bring up our co-host, the person who can command an Imperial Gonzate cruiser, Batty.
What?
Ah, see, I was glad you said that. I'm glad you said that. What?
What? Hi, everybody. Well, I mean, and Joe, really?
Yeah. So I came across this video earlier this week, and I'm not going to actually play the video because this is a very good. This is a Star Wars related channel. Guy's name is Generation Tech, and he talks about the tech behind the Star Wars world. Gazante Cruiser is a fictional sci-fi spaceship, a class of the Imperial spaceships, and his story was why Gazante Cruisers captains are all BS crazy. Yeah, first person I thought about was you.
Well, thank you. I'm going to assume it's a compliment.
Oh yes, 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 it is. It is definitely a compliment. Miss Ray, as we get ready to read the names on the screen, if you would like to pop them up for me, I would appreciate it.
Absolutely. Let me go up here. Uh, uh, people keep chatting, so it's hard for me to get up there. All right, here's the first one.
B&B Bowling. Billy is here. He's on the panel waiting to come on stage.
Okay.
Good to see you. And Miss Casey, always great to see her. EMC Dilligaff, thank you for coming, ma'am.
I don't know who that
well,
is.
that's me. Yeah, that's me. Yeah, no one cares about me.
Mhm.
Oh, really? Hey, Will, did you put the bourbon in your sippy cup today? Okay.
I told him I was going to send one in the mail.
Yes, let's make sure we do that. Sippy cups for Will. Emerson Jones, great to see you, ma'am. Luger Mickey, how you doing, sir? King Pokey Master of Railroads, good to see you. And Greg Jonick, always good to have him on board. Mike's orange jumpsuit, good to see you, sir. Oh, we really have to say hi to her.
Yes.
Hi, Bat S, crazy girl.
You better say it.
No, I already said hi to him. There's Alan Hunt.
Alan Hunt, good to see you, sir. We already said hi to Miss Casey, but yeah, she deserves a second hi. Hi, Kate. And Miss Kimmy D. Wrangler, good to see you. And Alan Hunt. Yeah. Jeff Clark, good to see you, sir. David E. Persis, hey. Florida Jim, great to see you. Glad to have you on board. Giggles. Well, I got something for Giggles.
What's that?
There's a giggle. We're supposed to be a giggle.
There you go.
Yeah.
Oh, wow.
Yeah.
I don't giggle very good. I'm sorry.
Giggles always makes me giggle.
Yeah. Miss Jeannie with an I, Wrangler's FBI handler. Hello.
A lot of repeats. Trying to make sure I don't miss anyone. So
And
I
Miss
missed
Valerie
you.
Michelle, how you doing, ma'am?
Yeah. I'm trying to make sure I'm not missing anyone because there's a lot of repeats.
Yes.
I'm
trying to watch their names
I
too.
don't think
Miss
we.
Dixie.
Yeah, there we go.
Yeah, there we go. Miss Dixie, how you doing?
Giggles, Jim, Kimmy, Giggles. I'm getting a newfound appreciation for Hez doing this every morning because I'm afraid I'm missing somebody here. Oh, well, okay. There.
Yeah, Stanley's here, but if Stanley behaves, he'll stay.
Yeah. But we'll say hi anyway because we are
Yeah.
nice people.
Yeah, we are nice people.
We are nice people.
And if Alting the Troll behaves, he will stay too.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay, so does that like mean that all of us are nice or just certain people?
Well, I'm just saying we're
That's not
nice
English
people.
with me yet.
We're gonna
And
try and be
Natalia
nice
Meadows,
people.
Billy's better half is here. How you doing? You keeping Billy in line?
Well, guys, stop chatting, please. Did I say hello here, Don?
No. Hi, Dawn. How you doing? I see you popping in there.
Linda?
Linda. Hey, Linda.
Okay. I don't want to miss anyone. I will feel so bad if I miss someone.
Amy D. How's it going?
Hello, Amy. I'm glad to see you. Robert. Don't want to miss Robert.
Thomas. No, we definitely don't want to miss Robert Thomas.
Mm-hmm.
He's always a good friend to the channel.
Linda.
To a bunch of our channels.
Speaking of Hez.
Hez! It's so good to see Hez. You're packing, you ready to go?
He said he might be packing while he's listening. So.
Okay.
And the sweetest girl,
JC Landry. Yes, ma'am.
Yes. Where are we supposed to listen to you on Fraud Mania? There's Mr. Mimsy. Hello.
Hey, Mr. Mimsy. How's it going?
Princess
wow.
Sophia.
Princess Sophia. Yeah, yes.
Left turn.
Left turn is here. Good. Oh, it's great to see left turn. Kentucky Shady Lady. How's it going? Betting Jesus. How you doing, sir? Ma'am? Dragon Fireheart. Fireheart. I do like that name, though. That's a cool name.
Yeah, it is.
Yes. All right. Sorsha Red Hair.
Hi, Sorsha. She comes in Hez all the time. She's
okay.
Very nice.
Nice to see you. Nice for you to be here.
And welcome. Did we get?
No,
we got that.
Yeah,
okay.
Yeah,
Just
we
making
did.
sure. Just making sure we don't miss anybody because I'm so scared. To Amy, Mr. Mimsy, Casey, Don, Greg, Booker, Anya.
Did we get Princess Sophia?
Yes, we did get Princess Sophia.
Yes.
Mike's orange jumpsuit, Casey brought it her follies on, Amy, Alex. Nope, didn't get Amy.
Well, no, we didn't get Alex. Hey, Alex, how's it going? And thank you. I'm glad you enjoyed it.
I think we probably.
I think so too.
These are just people chatting, so I think.
Yes.
Yep, I'm done. I think I'm down at the bottom. Yep, I'm down at the bottom. If I missed you, let me know, and I will highlight you. Okay.
Jump up and down. Say, hey, Ray, I'm here. But I think it's time for us to add our guest. And the first one, the innkeeper of the inn you do not want to stay at, Mr. JJ Scarbourough.
Oh, I'm clapping.
Welcome.
Well, thank you all. It's actually good to be here, and it's actually my first time on another channel, so I'm a little bit excited about it. I like the I like the heading of the program, talk about, inmate work programs and some of the benefits that jails do have to offer. So I'm actually excited to be here and look forward to talking with you guys and answering some questions.
And we're glad to have you here. We're going to really ask you a lot of questions and really get to things. And another individual, I had the pleasure to talk to this individual last week, and we were talking about all kinds of things. And one thing is, he was a beneficiary of similar programs, not in your jail, but in the state prison system, and I want to say in Indiana. And because of these programs, and because he had the desire, he was able to make his life better. He is now a fabulous father. Him and his daughter, they go out bowling. His bowling channel, which we are commissioning. Hey, let's go ahead and get that banner going real quick, Ray. Uh, Everyone from the aspect of the person that was involved with the programs as an inmate, we have Billy Meadows.
Hello, everybody. How are you?
Hey,
Hello.
Billy.
Hey, everybody.
Hi, Billy.
Hey,
Everybody having a good weekend?
we are having a good weekend. I do want to say a few things before we get going with our discussion. This discussion is about prison reform programs, uh, rehabilitation programs that jails and prisons offer. JJ and Billy may or may not be involved with some sort of cases that that they are working with. We are not discussing those cases or any individuals might be involved with those cases. We are offering everyone to ask questions in the chat that's related to the topic at hand. And Miss Ray and myself and of course Batty is watching it, and if we see it, we're going to put it up on the screen. But what we're going to ask everyone to do is be respectful of everybody that's watching, and everyone that is on the panel. At that, let's get things started. JJ, let's start with you. I would like you to kind of explain to us some of the programs that the Meade County Jail offers, or Meade County Detention Center is actually the better choice words.
Yes. Of course, a little bit of a background. Of course, I started 9 years ago. Whenever I started at the jail, just in simpler words, I would consider our building to be just more of a lock and key building. We really didn't have a whole lot of programs, really very many to speak of. We had a few church services come in from time to time. There at one time, there was an Alcohol Anonymous AA program that was there. And of course, I really didn't have a background in any kind of law enforcement or actually any kind of corrections whatsoever. Whenever I started, actually, I was a diesel mechanic. I actually went to diesel school and got certified in that and did that for 19 years. So I was a little bit new and a little bit green, so to say, whenever I come into the jail. And but one thing, it didn't take me long to recognize, and actually my jail staff actually helped me a whole lot, was the need for programs, the need for rehabilitation, placement back into the job, in the job market, teaching people skills, for whenever they get out of jail. So it didn't take long to recognize and that need. We have several programs implemented now, and actually we're actually working on a very big one right now, and hopefully by mid-July we'll have it up and running. But we host a wide array of programs that kind of cater to different needs. They cater to drug, alcohol, teaching people skills just to help them function out on the street, just as, functioning citizens, of the community. And that ranges everywhere from NA, AA, moral recognition therapy. That is kind of like the foundation for several other programs to branch off of, everything from anger management to parenting to financial. So there are several different aspects to that moral recognition therapy. Then as we jump out of that into another, we offer several other kind of programs. One of them, which is our coming to controversy here lately, but it's actually one of our bigger and better programs. We've kind of been in the spotlight of all the other jails in the state of Kentucky whenever it comes to a lot of eyes being on our facility, because we kind of accidentally built this wood shop, and we started off with it just being a little bit of a hobby, just a little bit of a project, to where we've actually turned it into kind of like a little industry behind the jail. And we've got to build it up to where now we do custom orders for people. Just about every state you can imagine. We ship a lot of products, and it's just turned into a real great program. And this is the program that I can say that whenever it comes to the benefit of it, I've seen it do more good. It's probably the best program that has benefited the inmate to me. I've seen the best outcome. I still hear from a lot of the guys that have been through that program from all over the country. And, these guys, whether they're building houses or working in cabinet factories, or they're doing their own kind of handyman service work, and they're doing, it's fantastic. It's really, really been a hit. And then, we do other programs, everything from cutting firewood to, we have people that work at the recycle center to picking up trash on the side of the road, working at the park and recreational centers. The local cities around us, we send guys out to them, on their plumbing crews and their water crews. So actually, I laugh. I tell a lot of people in the last 9 years, the job kind of went from, I worked inside the jail doing the day-to-day activities, to now it's turned into, that's the biggest part of what I do is actually oversee and help and just kind of keep an eye on all the programs. So, and it's actually something I really, really have grown to enjoy. So I look forward to seeing it, and continue to get bigger and bigger.
Well, I would also say that whenever a program has someone that goes into it that does not really have an exciting future aspect, Miss Ray, you raising your hand?
When you're done.
Okay, all right. But when they don't have a something to look forward to outside, and they don't have any skills to work with, usually what's the first thing they're going to do if they can't make money is go back into crime. And that I will say, in my opinion, that that is important, but another thing that is also important is the desire to make themselves better. And
Yes.
yes, and I think Billy was a perfect example of that aspect of it. So I'm going to go ahead and I'm going to let Ray ask her question, then we'll get Billy going with his story. Miss Ray?
In the morals program that is offered, I noticed there's a GED program. They can get their GED there.
Oh,
Is that
yes,
right?
actually, I did leave out the GED program. Yes, they can actually get their GED, and then if they want to continue on past that, they can actually, the GED people of Kentucky, they actually offer a college curriculum course to where they can actually go ahead and do a couple of the prerequisite classes for college if they choose to go on to vocational school, or maybe to get their associate's degree whenever they leave. So that's a very good question.
Right. Yeah, I was going to ask about that. So, what job training is involved? What type of job training is involved? You mentioned job training. What is the actual job training that's involved?
Okay. Of course, we'll start off with the wood shop, then we'll cover a few more of them. Of course, anytime we have two different sides of the facility, we have the side that is actually classified by Department of Corrections that can actually go out and actually work in the community. So these guys actually have more things that are actually offered to them just because of their low classification rate. Most time, they're, bat child support, drinking and driving, minor drug offenses, so on and so forth. More or less, it's easier to say nothing violent. so we can start in a wood shop and say that we can bring somebody in there, and literally this happens all the time. You take somebody who can't read a tape measure, and within 4 or 5 weeks, some people just have that natural gift. They can pick up on this. So they go from not being able to read a tape measure till 6 months later, whenever they can lay out a pole barn that's a 40 by 60 and actually take off and start building it, or anything that's sometimes just as simple as a bedroom dresser. So you give people that tradesman of a craftsman or carpenter. Then we also have another shop that we can also use for welding. And in that welding shop, we have a MIG welder, we have a stick welder, we have plasma cutters, TIG welders. So, and we can actually teach them to do anything from welding up something actually inside of our facility to welding up something for the road department, whether it be a stainless steel sink, TIG welding, or they might do something for the road department garage. They might weld up a backhoe bucket or new teeth shanks on a bucket. And then, we bring them inside the building. Of course, everybody knows, the jail, it's one of the largest buildings in the county. And of course, we have a lot of maintenance issues, everything from plumbing to electrical, some carpentry, just, and whatever pops up. Of course, we have a regular maintenance man. And so, they get all kinds of actually good skills that they can use. And we don't always look for the person that we know is a block layer if we're laying blocks. We might grab him and 3 others that don't know how to lay blocks. And then by the time that they're done doing whatever project we're working on, then I have 4 people in the jail that knows how to lay blocks. And that's just one more thing for them to put down on their job application, and whenever they leave the building.
Okay, so they might come out with multiple skills by the time they leave.
That is our goal.
That's great. Okay. So do you just oversee this in the men's prison, or do you oversee it women's and men's prisons, or?
Of course, we have very few females.
Okay.
So, I'm going to say, I oversee all of them, but actually having a whole lot of direct one-on-one contact with the females, no, we actually have a female program director who actually deals with them one-on-one. Okay.
I'm sorry. I just have one or two more questions. Do you have any numbers on the success rate of when they leave with the job training that you give them, what the success rate is, or what the reoffend rate is?
No, and that's actually that would be almost an impossible number to come up with, just because the people that we house, of course, there's 120 counties in Kentucky. Mm-hmm. Well, in Kentucky, a state inmate can be housed at any of the 83 full service jails in the state. So we have people that come all the way from, the far east to far west, far north, far south. And whenever they get released, just to be able to track them, that would be almost nearly impossible.
Okay. Yeah, I would see how that's true. Okay. Thank you. Thank you for answering my questions. I appreciate it.
Could I ask one real quick question, please, if I may? JJ, I know all these issues, or all these, so many rumors about when you guys, are making things, okay, and you are, people are buying them from you, or from not you personally, you know what I mean? Where, just to clarify for, the people out there who always questioned it, what is done with that money?
Okay, that's actually a very good question. And you're right, I have had to cover this just to try to explain this to people. But of course, we're a government entity. All government entities, they're audited. And actually, there is actually a separate checking account that is actually for inmate work programs. Actually, we call it our canteen account, because some of our canteen profits, our woodshop profits, anything that is inmate related actually goes into this account. And there's actually laws, Kentucky revised statutes, what says what this money can be spent for. And it's real simple. It has to be spent for the benefit of the inmate or for the enhancement of the security of the facility. So basically what that is saying is that you can't go out and buy a new water heater for the jail. That has to be, that has to come out of the county budget. But if I want to go out and purchase new table saws for the wood shop, or if I want to buy 300 pizzas for the inmates, that money can be used for the benefit of the inmate. Now, of course, I would like to add that once a year, that account is also audited by law by the Kentucky State Auditor's Office. So there's, it's almost like any government entity. I mean, there has to be your checks and balances. I mean, and it's not weekly, it's not monthly, it's daily. So, every day, whatever deposits we have, they're taken to the bank. They're signed off on by 3 of us before it goes to the bank, 2 of us when it comes back from the bank, and then stored up in there. And that's the same way with the incoming and outgoing purchases, and also the money and the deposits coming in. So, some of these rumors that have, revolved around where this money is going, I mean, it's trackable. I mean, if it ever need to be, I mean, producing documents, I mean, that's as simple as just tell me what month or what day or what week you want. And I mean, we pull a file and we scan it in. I mean, it's public record. So, I mean, there's nothing to hide there. I always just say that's just smoke and mirrors and just rumors.
Oh yeah, definitely. I definitely agree with you on that. I just, for
Okay.
anyone who's listening who is doubtful, thank you for clarifying that so much.
Okay, and let's get before JJ, before you answer the question that's on the screen, let's get Billy up here and let Billy just talk about what programs he entered as an inmate.
Wow, JJ, how am I supposed to go on after that?
Oh, whatever, Billy.
No, I'm not gonna forget the GD. I'm gonna start with that because that got me 6 months of my life back. I did my GED, and then there were several programs I could get into, but my prison sentence was a 5 do 2.5. In Indiana at the time, if it wasn't a violent crime or a drug charge, you got 2 for 1 on your days. So with a 5-year sentence, I had to do 2.5 years. I done 13 months in the county jail. By the time everything was done, they had my pre-sentence investigation. They had enough people to actually send to prison. I live in a small town. They don't just do it, every day. It's usually like once a week. They don't tell you what day, what time, just after you've been sentenced, and then you see a probation officer, and you'll do a pre-sentence investigation, which is a paper that tells you everything you've ever been charged with. It tells you everything but your blood type about you. And you go over it, you look at it, and you make sure it's right. You sign it, and then you come back, and you're usually at the jail 7 to 10 days. So the GED and the drug treatment was the 2 that I could utilize just because of how much time I had left. Out of 30 months, I already had 13 in. So I only had, 13 or 18 months left to do. I done about 7, 8 months of that left in prison, and the rest, was time cuts. Where I had enough years in prison when I got out of prison, I should have been on parole for 2 years, but being that I didn't get no write-ups, no conduct, done what I was supposed to do, worked hard, studied, had a job, went to school while I was in prison. And that's a good thing about prison. It's not the county time. I mean, nothing against you, JJ, but county time is the slowest time you can do. You can lay around and watch TV and eat and get fat. There ain't none of that in prison. They get you up, get you on your feet, get you moving 5 in the morning. You're moving all day long. So I was kind of glad to get to prison. I heard all kinds of war stories about it, and I was at a bad place. I was at Wabash. It's a level 4-5. I was behind the wall, but actually in a level 1-2 that they had there, where a lot of people that had been inside for 25 years plus, that was on their last little stretch, less than 3 years, and had been in no trouble, no conduct. Then they got to come over to there and do the rest of their time a little bit easier. But I should have only been able to get 10 months in time cuts, because you could get a third. I had 30 months. 10 months of that is a third of 30 months. But the way I did my schooling, I got 6 months for my schooling. Well, I was doing that 6 months of schooling. I was also doing substance abuse in the evening. So I was running 2 programs at once. Well, 3 months, for each month you completed in substance abuse, you got a month back. So in the 3 months of that, I ended up with 9 months in time cuts. Well, I took my GED there shortly after finishing my 3rd month of substance abuse, and where it was schooling, Indiana give it to me. So I ended up getting 14 months of time back when, really they had it wrote up to where I should have only been able to get 10, because it was schooling. And I don't know if it's because of hard work and me not getting in no trouble. Like, I don't know if they made an exception. I don't know. I didn't ask. I just know that I got more time back than I was told I was able to. And I'm going to blame it on hard work, because that's what got me the rest of it. It wasn't because I snitched or lied and anybody that signs a contract with the state should know it doesn't matter if it's 25 years later, they'll get you and make you make that contract all the way right.
Mhm. And
I just
and
wanted
Billy,
to clear that up. I'm sorry.
yeah, Billy. And you did work hard for that, and this is where like I said, it's good to have the programs, but if the inmate or the individual that the program is designed for, it's not even just for prisons. We can talk about any number spectrums throughout our society where if the person does not have desire to better themselves, you can throw millions of dollars in a program is specifically for them, and they're not going to get better because they have to have that desire. It has to be a desire. So we're going to
Right.
ask this question from Will. JJ, with completing the GED and going into a college program, will any institution allow them an admission? How is their tuition funded?
Now it's actually funded through the state. Actually, each area, of course, and we got the Lincoln Trail Division, which covers several different counties. They're actually allowed so much money every year by the state. I don't know exactly how their grants or their finances come. I don't know if they're allotted so much by population or how that's actually awarded to them. I don't get into the financial aspect of them, but back to what colleges will allow the credit that they have with us, as far as I know, and the ones that I've actually seen just with some of our local colleges, like for ours, it's actually E-Town. I do know that they will count what they have in jail. Now, if you jump up into the bigger universities, I've never had any experience with that, so I can't answer that one.
Thank you, JJ.
What's that, Doc?
Thank you. Yes, Rich, is a good question. It's good that we have the programs, but it's get them started, but they have to go somewhere to finish it. And it's kind of crummy if you get out, but yet could not get into a good tech school to finish some sort of degree to use it with.
Of course.
JJ,
Oh, go ahead. I'm sorry.
It's all right. Are you familiar with the California's firefighting program that they're using their inmates for?
I've heard about it and read some on it, but I'm not too
familiar.
Yeah, I'm not too educated on that.
Okay, so I think overall it's not a bad idea, considering how wildfires are in that state. I can see where it's an advantage, but my question would be, would that be putting inmates' lives at risk? Is this something that might be considered? Your job as the jailer is to protect the inmates. One of the duties.
Whenever I learned of the firefighters program, and actually whenever you just brought it up, that was the first thing that popped up in my mind is liability. And just one of the programs like here that we actually done away with just for several different reasons, but actually liability was the inmates riding on the back of a garbage truck. between drugs being dropped off at a certain person's house in their garbage can, the same time every week. Of course, that's a huge liability too. But also, inmates are just people in general every day jumping off the back of a garbage truck, running in and out of traffic, cars. Everybody knows now people texting and driving. That was actually a program that we cut out just for the simple reason that I would almost stay on the edge of my seat every day just thinking about a couple of inmates or maybe 10 inmates riding around on different garbage trucks around the county every day with drivers jumping in and out of the traffic. I said, no, 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 no. We are not doing this. There is just no way. So, yes, and do have an obligation to actually protect the inmates,
Right.
and their well-being.
Right. I mean, I know a lot of these inmates that this is why I like about the program is it can give these guys a lot of self-worth. You get the right person, that person comes in and they're doing something good for the community around them, but it is also very, very dangerous. Wildfires is not something you want to be caught up in the middle of. Every day we do have firefighters who get caught in the middle of a fire, and if they didn't have their protective gear, they may not make it. And if they can't get into their, I will call it a tent for lack of a better word, but they're basically their fire protection barriers that they would be gone for. And wildfires can spread so quickly. So it is for me is this risk that beneficial? And that's the question I have to ask because I don't have an answer to it. That being said, that like I said, I do see a benefit. I hope that that California uses that experience for its for what's worth and go from there.
I have a question when you're done, Doc.
Go for it. Yeah, go for it.
I'm just, do you have a percentage of these guys that actually take place or participate in the programs? Like how many get their GED and or use the counseling or
I tell you what, I can actually pull up some good numbers for you. Let me put your question on hold for just a few minutes, and while the live goes on, I'll actually pull some of those numbers for you. I actually just completed a questionnaire on that, so I had to pull it off my email, but I can get that.
No, thank you. I appreciate that.
Yeah, that'd be great. Thank you. And Billy, let's go back to you real quick here. You talk about GED, working toward your GED.
Yes.
So you attended class. You obviously had to be there.
Right. Schooling was 6 hours a day.
Mm-hmm.
You actually get paid for it. It's like 47 cents a day. It's not nothing fancy, but then I would come home for about an hour or come back to the dorm for about an hour. And then in the evening, I would have a 2-hour substance abuse class. So 8 hours of work in between the two.
Right.
And the substance abuse, we didn't get no pay for that. Just 47 cents a day. You got a flat rate for like different jobs had a flat rate, and that's just what you made.
Right. And were there other programs that you could have gone into? Let's say you did have a high school
Yes.
diploma. Okay.
Yes. If I'd had a diploma, then where I wasn't a violent criminal or hadn't had any bad previous charges before, I could have actually qualified for the road crew.
Right.
And went out and worked and made time really fast. But I felt that I needed my GED. I didn't have that. I wanted it. This is my opportunity to get it and get time back instead of just sitting around working. They don't make you get your GED or do schooling, but it's an opportunity. So I absolutely took it. Because by then I had been locked up for a little bit, and the drug thinking and the criminal way of thinking was starting to, I don't know. I was just starting to get away from it. Like, I don't know if my brain was getting back to normal, but I don't know. Schooling was something I wanted to do. I hated it when I was a kid, but to get home sooner. I wanted it.
All right, so we do have another question here. And I guess this is probably more toward the state prison programs and not necessarily the county jail programs.
Right.
So from Left Turn, can the inmate request transfer in housing to utilize the programs that may not be available where they are currently housed? So basically, you're in one jail or one dorm, and you want to be involved with a
Good
program that
question.
might, yeah, it's a good question. A program that's not offered at the other facility. So let's
Yes,
say,
we can actually do an internal transfer, which most of our workers, they're all housed in just certain locations throughout the jail, depending on their classification anyways. But just go a little bit farther. Let's say that somebody has 5 years that they're serving. Let's say they complete the moral recognition therapies, all the ones that they can complete, maybe get their GED at our facility. But then let's say that, of course, we provide a list. It's actually on our kiosk system of all the jails in the state and the programs that they offer. So let's say that they run through Meade County and they're already maxed out. They did all the programs they can get. Let's say they find one in Marion County that they want to take a program that they have that we don't offer. Then yes, and we can arrange. Most time we try to arrange just a swap out. We usually trade a 1-for-1. We'll call down, or our Class D coordinator does, and tell them, hey, we got this guy who wants to take XYZ class. Do you have anybody you can trade with him? And usually the answer is yes. They'll trade out somebody who wants one of our classes, or maybe they might have a conflict down there with somebody at their facility. And so, yes. And to answer your question, yeah, we actually trade out people quite often.
I've never really thought about that, where county jails could do that type of communications. But it makes sense. It makes real good sense.
Well, of course, there's several different ways that, or reasons, I guess, we have to do that. Is let's say somebody gets sentenced tomorrow as a state inmate out of Meade County. Well, let's say that person, they're eligible to work out in their community. Well, you might look at this person's past, and if they got like a lot of close family members, you don't always want this person out in a community working, let's say recycle or picking up trash, or where he is surrounded by his friends and his family, and to where, being he's local, sometimes we know a lot of their friends and their family, and we know possibly what they're capable of. Then we're not going to put them back in that vulnerable spot. I mean, obviously we're there to help them, so we're not going to put them at the recycle center to where the people he got locked up with or she got locked up with can go to the recycle center and drop off a bag of plastic bottles and a half ounce of meth to be snuck back into jail. And we're not helping that person by doing that. So we'll call a surrounding county and we'll say, hey, we have this local guy here. He's a good worker. He's never caused us any trouble, but he needs to get out and work and earn that work credit. You got anybody who you want to trade with us? And most time they're in the same boat we are. They might have one or two down there that they're looking to and do the same thing with. I mean, it's not a punishment, but it's just simple. Hey, this guy here, he's eligible to work. Are we going to punish him by saying you can't work because you're local? Or are we going to say, hey, we can send you an hour away from home, where good chance that, those people aren't going to come down there and actually get you in more trouble. So
Very good. Very good.
Oops.
Well,
I'm sorry.
I guess we had the same thought there.
and this actually a good question, Roberta McGee, which and me with my mechanic background, and we actually do all of our vehicle maintenance, trailer maintenance, tractor, foiler. We own quite a bit of equipment, and we do some for the outside agencies too. So that's one that I actually oversee, and I did a whole lot of hands-on experience there with the auto and diesel side of it.
So we've been at 45 minutes, over 45 minutes now. Great questions so far, but I think since we're talking about auto diesel mechanics, why don't we do a Friday with Frank video?
Oh,
How do you
yeah.
Oh my Lord.
Yeah, I have to get it done and over with, because if I don't, I won't hear the end of it.
It's
I'll
just
go
for
through. I'll go through all week getting texts and emails and Facebook
all you
messages.
men's. Sorry, all you men's, y'all can just go take a break somewhere. This is just about us
The
ladies.
other
That's
day,
it.
we're going 120 miles an hour, so I'm headed to the.
You have substantially slowed down. I think I only got you at like 73.
I was just slowing down too. Oh my god!
What were you? You're doing 73. What were you slowing down
I
from?
didn't even think.
Hey, JJ, you know what's a good cooking channel? How to barbecue
Yes.
right. How to barbecue right. You should check that channel out. I tell you, it is so good.
You know,
That sounds like a good channel.
We're gonna pause that one more
Got
time.
I saw I was doing it in the 70s. That's why I backed off a bit. Man, I knew it was you though.
Yeah.
I don't have my endorsement.
JJ, you know what would be a good program to bring in is a culinary program.
Actually, we actually have a culinary program. That's one of them programs. I mean, honestly, we have so many of them that it's actually hard unless I write them all down to actually keep up with. But we actually have the batshit crazy. I know you're ready to like cut my throat at this point, but we actually do have one who actually comes in from the co-op office, University of Kentucky, and she actually does a cooking class for males and females.
Nothing wrong with cooking.
I'm headed there right now to take the test again. Like just a couple blocks from here. I'll turn around and take this home and walk back to the DMV. I mean,
I get that you're trying to do things right. You just can't quite figure it out.
Yeah, right.
So I'm gonna give you a couple breaks. Okay. I'm not gonna cite you for criminal speed.
thank God.
Okay.
Hey, Billy, you know what's
You know,
a very good
seriously, no, I was ready for that. Do not. I had my phone off mute because I knew you were going to do that.
I was waiting.
I'm going to track you down.
Good times.
I really hate you.
I'm also just gonna give you a regular speeding ticket. And not having, obviously you need a permit, man.
Yeah.
Look at that tinted windshield. Huge.
You know, that's not
He's lucky I'm here with you, man. I'll be chasing that guy down the road.
Stopping. No, I'm just kidding.
Line up for tickets, man. I got plenty of them. They give me paper and rolls. But I'm gonna give you the benefit of the doubt
You know what kind of tickets I like?
out there
Yes,
trying to do
so do I.
things right.
I am.
You also need to get a motorcycle endorsement. I mean, if
Failed yesterday. I'm headed back today to do it again. And tomorrow until I get it.
I like that. Okay. I like some
I like football
tenacity.
tickets.
Questions I can answer for you right now.
Am I going to be on TikTok?
You never know.
Don't do it.
You might be. So I don't get very many people. I just got stopped the other day for criminal speed, and then doing another criminal speed now.
And you know what's funny is I was testing this bike for repair the other day, and that's why I was up so high on speed, and it was just that one and I knew.
So you were testing it for repair.
Yeah, well.
What if something went wrong at
already done the
120?
And I was coming back from the repair.
Oh.
So the first part.
Yeah, I was like, I feel like that's how you die.
Yeah, that is how you
Right?
die.
That's how you die. All right. Any questions before I kick you loose?
No, dude, nice to meet you.
Everything seem fair?
Yeah. Thank you. I will.
I have a question.
Promise you won't.
Be better, man.
You won't ever hear from me again.
I appreciate that. Thank you so much. Ride that thing safe when you ride it. Are you from California?
Detroit.
Oh, the 313.
Yes, sir.
Right on. You got any weapons in here?
No, sir.
All right. Well, I feel like you'd be more comfortable if you put your arms back in there.
No, I'm sorry.
No worries.
It's a reflex.
That's okay. I'm totally good with it. I appreciate it. So, see your driver's license. Let's start with that. So, I'm Deputy Sloop. I work for the, absolutely. I work for the Pinal County Sheriff's Office Traffic Unit. The reason I stopped you is I locked you in at 74. Speed limit on this road is 50, so you're 24 over. That was for me.
Yeah, I know. Yeah.
What do you mean you know?
Yeah, they honk when they catch, you catch bad guys. That's what y'all do.
Man. I could always tell where I stopped someone
Now, JJ, I will have to say this.
from
With Frank,
lives in a
Deputy Frank Sloop, would you get mad if you got a ticket from him?
Would I get mad?
Yeah, would you get mad if you got a ticket from Deputy Frank Sloop?
Well, yeah, I mean, I wouldn't be real happy about it. I mean, I wouldn't be like
you
some of these people in the chat and be like, trying to frame it.
Well, you probably would take a selfie with them, right?
I probably would ask you. I probably would just so I could send one to everybody in the chat just to make them jealous. Yeah, I probably would.
Yeah. I would say that we should, take that
You could-
selfie.
You can tell him he can watch his content on your channel.
I'll take a selfie with them. Oh, never mind.
Mm.
Never mind. I was going to elaborate, but I'm just going to be good. You better hit play.
A state that doesn't like guns.
Oh, I forgot to say, you know what? My favorite dish is it's shepherd's pie.
Your favorite dish is going to be something.
His
else
hands come out the window like schlah.
Yeah.
So I appreciate it, man. It's very cool of you.
Right.
All right, what's your current? Oh, what's that? Is that the last ticket you got?
Yes,
Who gave
sir.
you that one? Who gave you that one?
I forgot his name, officer. He got me for the same
Chavez.
thing.
Oh, this is City of Maricopa.
Yeah.
Oh man, he was super nice. He wrote you for Waste of Finite Resources.
Yeah, he actually was. He was a real cool cat.
He's a cool dude, man. I know that guy. I mean, you were doing 72 that day. I mean, you got to learn it. You don't have a learning curve. You have a learning plateau.
No, what I do is I follow the flow of traffic and I get busted for that.
Where's another ticket? What is that? Who got you this one? Man, you're collecting these. You're going to be able to trade these tickets in for a bike one day. Regular old speeding ticket. All right?
Thank you. And you Officer
Slope.
I appreciate you, Officer Slope.
No problem. No problem. I appreciate you being cool with me. That's always it. Always
cool as hell right now, like we knew each other or something.
Man, I got a pretty good gauge of character. I can tell you're a cool dude. So we can take care of business and still part as friends.
Hey, I appreciate you, man.
I got you, man. Listen, make sure you put your seatbelt on. Drive safe.
All right, thank you.
Okay.
Woo.
All right.
Risk me anything. Oh, did I say that out loud?
It's getting hot in here.
I'm going to start muting those two, I think.
Whew. I want to go to Arizona.
All right. Miss Ray, do we have any more questions out there?
Oh, I didn't see any. They're all talking about Frank.
Yeah, she was not paying attention to no questions. Now, come on with that, Joe.
I was paying attention to the chat. They're talking about Frank. So,
All right. So
I had
Billy,
I had questions for Billy, but they wouldn't. You shouldn't have played that video right now because I had a question for Billy, but I forgot what it is.
Ray and I are going to take a break. You guys just handle the chat for a while.
That's an awesome question, Casey. That is a really good question.
yes,
Yeah, actually, we do have a lot of job placement, and actually, it's not something that we started. It's actually something that local businesses, local factories, some of the factories that range actually in some of the other counties, they actually started it. It's kind of an accident, really. They know that our inmates are actually involved, with the wood shop and with other aspects of things. Of course, I know a lot of people in the county, from the construction owners to the home builders and so on and so forth. So these guys, they'll call whenever they're looking for somebody and, kind of give me a description of what they're looking for. And if we have somebody, then yeah. And they also know that whether they're from Meade County or not, wherever they relocate at, that they can use a jail and actually me as a reference. And if they want to leave the jail out of that aspect of things, then actually I'll pass all my personal information to them. That way, whenever they're doing a job application, for a factory or for a temp agency, they don't have to put down Meade County Detention Center. They can actually just put down my name, that I'm the jailer there. And I think it looks better than putting down a jail as a reference is putting me down for a reference. That way it kind of shows a little bit of a personal thing. Then, of course, whenever that employer calls, I usually don't ever lead on that. Yeah, he was in jail and we done this. I usually give them a pretty good reference, if they deserve one. And, tell them, I think this got to be a good fit for you. And, I might ask you questions, what's he applying for and so on and so forth. But, yeah, that goes back to one of the things that if somebody asked me 10 years ago what I expected to do whenever I started working at the jail, until somebody asked me now, what do I actually do? Never thought I'd actually be giving job references and helping people fill out job applications and getting them ready for almost like their very first day at their very first real job that they ever had. So, which I actually enjoy that part of my job. So,
Well, can I ask a question? And yes, it's a legitimate question. Do you guys offer, because I don't know how long an average stay is, I guess you could stay there because they go into prison from there a lot of times, right?
yes.
Yes. Okay. So, oh, sorry. Sorry, hon.
Say we can, usually the limit, the very cap is 7 years, which I know back to what Billy said. You stay 12 months in a county jail. In most county jails, that's almost like a life sentence. I mean, that's a long time if there's no programs or nothing.
Well, do they offer? I'm sorry, sweetie. Go ahead.
Oh no, go ahead.
No, I was going to say, do you guys offer, drug, alcohol, AA kind of things there, or is that something that you guys don't offer?
And the drug and alcohol anonymous classes?
Yes.
Yes, we offer that. That's actually offered to everybody in the building.
Okay, great. I didn't know. I'm sorry.
So, JJ, we do have another question from Miss Casey. Do they offer interview and resume classes?
Resume classes, yes. That's actually part of the moral recognition therapy that actually falls into the financial side. Interview process, no. We've never had I would lead that more into kind of like a job fair kind of interview where employers would come in, but that would be kind of hard, I think, given the fact that not all the inmates get out, together. It might be one today. It could be 5 of them 3 weeks from now. But no, we've actually never had anybody actually come in and actually even want to do an interview, job wise. Mm-hmm. But and we'd be open to it if somebody wanted to do a pre-release interview with somebody. Yeah, I mean that's really no big deal.
And Miss Anya Meadows, she has asked, I know in our local jail, they have a program to get the inmates signed up for state Medicaid. Is that something they do in your county, JJ?
Actually, if they're a Meade County inmate and they want to do that, actually, whenever they leave the front doors of our buildings, we give them a facility admission if they don't have any kind of county ID or state ID or anything. And actually, they can go next door and actually get signed up for that.
Well, this might be a Billy question or even for you, JJ, but I've watched a lot of shows and things, and upon release, what happens to a lot of these people? Because I've seen where upon release at a lot of places, it's basically a bus ticket and you're on your way. Is that an accurate statement, or is there more to that than just a bus ticket and you're on your way?
I think it used to be, and it maybe could in prison if you didn't have a ride. But now, if in prison, if you get more, if your family or somebody sends you more than $40 a month, when you leave, they don't give you nothing. They'll give you whatever money you've got left on your books or whatever. But I had somebody to come pick me up, so I didn't leave with anything. Just I left in shorts and a crappy shirt and give the people inside that wasn't so fortunate the nice stuff that I had.
And so if you didn't have somebody picking you up, then what happens to these people? I mean, the reason why I'm asking and stuff is because you hear people, they just, they say that, we're out and they forget about us. So, right. Which I really highly doubt that, but I was just curious what happens when they get released.
Some people, that's the case. I mean, they don't really have not a good support system like I do and did and still do.
Are you asking if there's a follow-up program, where they follow the inmate and see how they're doing, or are you asking actually where they actually go?
Well, that's
a halfway house
true.
Or
yes, exactly. Something like that, or if they don't have, a halfway house to go to, or, I know that you guys can't babysit everybody who's released, and I totally get that. But I guess my question is, somebody's been released, they don't have somebody to pick them up. Y'all just take them to a certain place, halfway house, a group home, or whatnot.
I was going to be released from the property. I would have had to walk or find a ride where I was at. I mean, that was 20 14.
Mhm.
Like a lot of counties around here in Indiana, they really don't really have a whole lot of care what you do when you get out, and that's why they fall back into going to a drug house or getting right back into crime, and it being a repeat, because there's just not. You got to have a support system. You cannot do it on your own.
And of course, you can tell that Indiana is real close to operating kind of the way Indiana and Kentucky are real close together. Of course, in Kentucky, Department of Corrections, they are required to actually give an inmate a bus ticket. So it is a jail's responsibility to take the inmate being released, the state inmate being released, to the bus station and to get him back wherever he come from. But again, it kind of goes back to that. A lot of that's a case by case basis. Because if he's not a state inmate, technically, is there any laws or is there anything out there to help the inmate after he gets released? No, actually, the jail's obligation actually ends when he walks out of that door after he signs himself out. So do we do that? No, we choose not to do that. Now, if he's a local inmate and he lives within a 5-mile radius, then we're not going to get up in arms to figure out, how is he going to get home? I mean, obviously, if it's not raining outside and it's not 10 degrees, then he can be resourceful. But on the flip side of that, I mean, if this guy gets out and let's say that he was extradited from, this happens more than people think. Let's say he was extradited from Colorado. Well, let's say the judge lets him out. Well, you just can't open the doors up and this guy's in a pair of flip flops with a white trash bag over his shoulder full of property and say, good luck. I mean, to me, that's that's just being an ass. I mean, you just don't throw somebody out to the wolves like that. So it's a case by case basis, but I mean, we do take the appropriate measures, whether we have to take somebody to Louisville, to a homeless shelter, whether we have to call one of the local ministries to put them up in a motel until their family or until they can get a ride back to where they're going. So there's a lot of different avenues. I've taken people to Louisville, taken people to Nashville, taken people to Lexington, just to give them a ride. I mean, it's not the most fun thing to do at 5 o'clock in the afternoon whenever you realize he's been sitting there since 11 o'clock in the morning and waiting for his ride to show up, and his ride's not going to show up. Obviously they're not even answering the phone at this point. So can you really go home and leave this guy sitting in your jail lobby till the next morning, or no? So, I mean, you asked him, where are you going? So, you take the guy to Louisville and, you give him $50, wherever he wants to be dropped off at, and you wish him the best. I mean,
that's something, though. I mean, that is something.
Yeah, I mean, it's better than just leaving him.
Absolutely.
Wherever. But I mean, is there really a true set in stone program, some kind of mechanism to, help them whenever they get out of jail to, not go back to that circle that they're in? No. I mean, most of the time, it's easier to go back to that circle that if you haven't been taught anything different while you're in jail. So that's kind of our goal. And I mean, that's our mindset. And that's part of actually our training process. Sometimes a lot of it's just an unspoken rule. It don't have to be wrote down in a policy and procedure book, but you try to train that into people's head that, if these people don't do any better, I promise you that we're going to see him again in 3 months and in 9 months and in 12 months, because he's going right back 2 miles away from this jail into that circle of people that he's in, and he's going to be doing the same thing. He's going to get caught again. He's going to be back. So if you're tired of seeing him, then do something about it. I mean, if you don't care, well, then you probably don't belong here.
That's a very great point. Thank you guys for answering all that for me.
You're welcome.
And we have a David E. Persons asking a question: what level of education are inmates able to complete while incarcerated?
Of course, Billy can answer some of this, but I mean, on a county jail level, they can just get their GED. That's actually where we stop. We don't offer any college classes that actually can get them an associate's or bachelor's. Now, if they go on up to prison, then they can go on up into the college and, in college curriculum. But Billy, I'll let you maybe elaborate a little bit on that, of what you've seen and what you've heard of.
Right. Usually the college people are people that's I don't know, 3 to 5 years that they have to serve. So just because of how long it takes to get in there, a lot of people, believe it or not, utilize that. There's not a whole lot of spots open. Like everything in Indiana seems like Department of Correction wise is so understaffed. Money's pulled from everywhere to take away from that, and which is a bad thing because even though people are locked up, they still need some coverage. I mean, I get it's not a day's in. I understand that, but just a lot of things like in my county jail, um, before I had got sent off, our our jail was in 7 blocks. It was 1 block, 2 block, 3 block. Girls are in 7, boys are in the rest. They were actually a 2 bed dorm room. It was a room. It was very very small, but it had 2 beds against the wall. Well, they would put 4 people in each one of those rooms, 2 in the beds, 2 on the floor. Somebody'd have to lay by the toilet. And then there's a sink and a toilet in each one of those rooms, but only one of those rooms might have running water. So you've got 16 people trying to use, one sink, trying to keep everybody happy. It was a lot. And just seems like Indiana is very under budgeted when it comes to inmates and programs. But a lot of people did the schooling that was, there plus years, and they could get, like JJ said, masters, whatever, as long as you've got the time. Wabash, they had all kinds of schooling.
And folks, I'm going to ask that before we go to the next question. If your question has been missed, don't hesitate to throw it back up there. Unfortunately, lots going on, and we will miss questions, but we are watching for them. We are trying to keep an eye on them. So please throw your questions back up there if we miss your question. And JJ, do the inmates have job duties to do even if they don't work in a program?
Yes, absolutely. Of course, we do get inmates from time to time who they don't want to be involved in any programs. They don't want to work. Telling old inmates saying they just want to just lay on their neck. And we don't encourage that. And just on a personal level, I don't like that. I think everybody should pull their own weight. But do we hold them accountable for doing at least the bare minimum, like cleaning up after themselves, keeping their living quarters and their living area clean, cleaning their community bathroom, cleaning their dorm/cell? Absolutely. And all the inmates, and they know this. They know that it's something I expect. Not to say I'm OCD, but I am OCD, and I like cleanliness, and I like everything to be in order. And if I have a guest come through the jail, then I don't want to have to go to every dorm and tell everybody, okay, guys, clean your mess up. Somebody's coming through today. It should be organized, and it should be clean, and smell good whenever somebody comes through. So yeah, everybody is expected to pull their own weight.
Yes. It sounds a lot to me like what you're expected to do when you were in basic training. Keep your area clean, plus your all the other duties you had.
Mm-hmm.
And see, there was one question that was up here earlier. I hope it didn't go too far up. Our chat's very good. We have very, very good chat going on. So from Jeff Clark, do you allow ex-inmates to return to help current inmates, i.e., I have a badge to take AA into my county jail where I used to be a resident?
That's actually a good question. Yes. Just a short answer to that is yes. I was a little bit reluctant on it. We do actually make them, once they're released, we do make them wait a minimum of a 6 months period. And that's actually just so we can kind of see where they're at, not only mentally, but also, with any problems, just kind of just be able to monitor them. We've had real good success, but we have had a few bad cases allowing that to happen too. We've had that not necessarily bite us in the butt, but we've had a few close calls, and we've had to intervene, a time or two with allowing people who've been in the jail to come back in to, host a AA, NA, church group, or, some other kind of class. So, but overall it's successful, but like anything jail related, there's nothing perfect and there's never going to be anything perfect. So it's kind of like day by day and case by case, and you deal with your problems.
Yes, very good. That is very, very good. I didn't realize that you cannot let the guy that just left an hour earlier to back in to go help in some kind of programs. But at the same time, the best help that a current inmate can receive is a former inmate who has actually made things better for himself.
Yes, and of course, personally, I've sat through hours upon hours upon hours of different classes and different AAs and all different kinds of church services of all different denominations. I tried to inject myself into several of these, and I can answer a lot of alcohol and drug questions. And, I've been out on the street, been search warrants, arrested people and different stuff, I've been on every different aspect of it. But whenever it comes to actually more or less one addict talking to another addict, there's nobody that can understand or explain things like somebody who hasn't been in those shoes before, and they know exactly what you're talking about. You can tell me all your problems as somebody struggling with some kind of drug addiction, and I can shake my head yes all day long like I understand, because I've seen 3,000 people get booked in the last 9 years with that problem. But do I truly understand it? No. So you're exactly right. There's nobody understands it like somebody who's been in those shoes.
In our county jail, we cannot go in and visit nobody or come back in the jail to do anything to help unless you've been a year with no trouble.
And to me, that all that makes sense here. 6 months to a year, something to show that you because I think first thing, you got to make yourself better. You cannot jump in and get ready to help people if you're not where you're in a good spot in your life. And
Right.
someone that just got out of jail, they got a lot to do to kind of get themselves squared away.
Absolutely.
Yes.
Okay,
Especially
it looks
if
like
you're a repeat offender. Yeah, it's not good if you're a repeat offender.
I did see a good question from Princess Sophia.
I was just about to say that.
I actually see this question a lot, and actually there's actually some in some legislative actually that come down from that a few weeks ago that actually we're working through a few of the things, trying to figure out what our protocol is going to be. But what happens if somebody comes into jail and they're on a narcotic, or they're prescribed a narcotic or a controlled substance? What do we do, being that our facility don't allow that? Of course, our first thing is actually to verify that they're actually on that. So whenever they come in, our medical actually has them do a medical release. And of course, if I say something wrong here on a medical terminology side, you guys have to forgive me. I'm not a doctor. So they sign a medical release, and our medical will actually send out to the provider and find out exactly what all they're on. Our next step, and kind of in their course of getting the medical records, is actually we give them a drug test, obviously, to see what's in our system right now.
Mm-hmm.
Based on what's in our system, whether it be anything from methamphetamine to heroin or alcohol, whatever have you, then obviously we're not going to give any medicine until all that is out of your system. It's just too much bad stuff can happen. You start mixing stuff up, and we're not. The last thing I want to do is actually kill somebody. So once we figure out what exactly they're on, then we'll actually consult with an outside physician or our doctor, and we'll see what our best remedy is. Are we talking about somebody who gets 30 hydrocodons a month for back pain that we might be able to substitute it with some other kind of non-narcotic or non-controlled? Or are we talking about somebody who is a stage 3 cancer patient who has taken a wide array of medicine? So it's kind of a case-by-case base. We might actually go from something to getting that person released on a home incarceration ankle monitor, which we do. And, we can have somebody out on that, within an hour. Or do we substitute their medicine with something to make do until they get out, and then they can go back if they choose to using a narcotic or a controlled substance. So it's case by case basis. Whenever it comes to the detoxing side of it, granted, we do have detox meds if the need be. As everybody knows, Xanax, alcohol, there's some of these drugs and narcotics out there, controlled substances, coming down off of them it's actually deadly. It just depends on how far down that road you are, how addicted, how bad your abuse to that substance is. So that goes back to a case by case basis. I mean, if we're talking somebody coming down off methamphetamine that is not, like I said, the medical terminology here, if they're not strung out on it, are they going to detox on it, and are they going to want it? Is it going to put them in a pissy mood and make them thirsty and sleep for 3 days? Well, that's not deadly. Now, if it's something like Xanax to where it can be deadly, then we're going to address it as needed. So it's case by case basis.
Alcohol too.
And at the end of the day,
Xanaxes.
And at the end of the day, I leave that up to medical. I mean, do I step into it if I see something I don't think looks right, or if I go by and check on these people all day, every 15 minutes, on their detox watches, if I see something I don't like or something concerning, then I'll raise my hand and I'll ask a question and be like, hey, this guy, he looks pale. What's his deal? And sometimes I might overstep my boundaries whenever it comes to the medical side, and I might ask too many questions. But I mean, I tell them all at the end of the day, I'm not trying to make you mad or,
Okay.
try to tell you how to do your job. But at the end of the day, my name's on them, and I'm the one that's going to get blamed here if something happens. So I want to know. I want to know what's going on, and I want to know, is he going to be okay? What steps are being taken for him? So.
Right. So before we go to the next question, two things. Please do not trash talk other channels. In many cases, their representatives are not here to defend themselves. We are here talking about rehabilitation programs of jails and prisons, and not about someone else's channel. Second, Billy, I saw your comment about getting ready to leave. I want to wish you and Bella and everyone good luck on your bowling tournament. It's great that you can be on, but if you're driving, I'd rather you not be on the live stream. I want you to be safe getting to the bowling alley.
Well, Anya was going to drive, but yeah, if you want to drop me
Okay,
off,
well,
that's
if
fine.
Anya's driving, you're fine. You can stay on the live stream and dance around, all that kind of stuff while she's driving. Okay.
Oh, and Billy Trust, and tell Anya this. I will be there, so y'all better watch out. It's gonna be
All
fun
right.
live.
We're ready. We'll see you guys.
Be
We'll see you
safe.
guys soon for sure. Yeah, thank you, hon. If you guys need anything, just holler. I don't mind to answer.
All right. We'll holler
Thank
at you. All right. Be safe. Now, next, Debbie Yates. How do you determine who is on the road cleanup crew for safety reasons?
That's actually a good question. And believe it or not, I actually probably get that question, especially in the spring months whenever we really start hitting the roads real hard. We get a whole lot of concerned citizens actually call in because they see this van or this trailer or this truck riding down the road that says Meade County Detention Center on it. And these guys out walking around in yellow shirts, and they're like, oh my God, Charles Manson's in the front yard picking up trash. Okay. Of course, they got to be classified level 1 or 2 by the state of Kentucky. So, which means that obviously they're nonviolent, they're real low level offenders. Well, so the Department of Corrections says yes, they are safe to go out and work in their community. But we take that a step farther. Every time, or every state inmate of ours that comes in who is eligible to work out in their community, we actually make them fill out a job application, just like you would anywhere else. So we take that job application and we put everybody on the inside of the jail. We put them on an internal job first, and we kindly, we don't kindly do it. We actually monitor them. We see what kind of worker they are. If anything suspicious comes up with them, or we find any red flags on them, we'll go to sometimes the extreme to where we'll keep a watchful eye on them. We might listen to telephone calls to see if they're plotting anything. If we see any red flags, and we try to get to the bottom of it. Why do we why do we feel this way? Why do we see this red flag? So they actually go through quite the screening process before we actually just turn them out on the road, just to actually pick up trash. Because I tell everybody, if I wouldn't let them walk in front of my house in my front yard and tell them that I live there, then I'm not going to put them in your front yard. I'm not going to let them walk down your road either. So, and I hope that answers.
Oh, Sorsha, that is a great question.
Yes, of course, we don't actually technically have a steered straight program, and I don't know any jail that really does have one. Do we have a lot of parents that call on a routine basis, different parents? And a lot of these kids that they're actually calling about, they're actually pretty good kids. I mean, I've run into probably 2, maybe 3 kids in 9 years, and I'm like, wow, if something don't change, I'm going to see that kid before I retire. But they might go through just a little bad phase in their life, the kid. And of course, the parent will call and be like, hey, is there anything you all can do to help? And they'll actually drop their kid off at the front door of the jail, more or less. And we kind of have a conversation beforehand of, what's going on, where's all the problems at, and we'll actually bring the kid in. And sometimes, whether it's 2 hours or sometimes it's 8 hours, and the kid will actually spend a day in the jail with us. And I say with us staff members. We don't actually, we don't, obviously we don't throw them out to the inmates and tell them to spend a day with the inmates, but we let them go in and actually talk to the inmates, and let them hear some of the inmates' stories. And of course, depending on what the child's issue is, I might actually go into certain dorms or certain cells and actually have kind of a pregame, a tailgating talk with some of the inmates to let them know, hey, I'm bringing this kid in later on, and here's what whenever I ask you guys questions, I want y'all to tell me about this time in your life, about when did you start doing drugs? What drugs did you start with? At what age? What about your friends or your so-called friends? And so that way it's a good conversation whenever everywhere from 8 years old to 17-year-old, whenever they come in, it's kind of like targeted questions, but it's been successful. So yeah, those programs exist. Granted, they may not be actually on paper with a policy and procedure wrote out beside of them, but no, I'm not the only jail in the state that actually does that. Yes, shop probation is still used. I saw that question on there. It's actually used every week in the court system.
Oh, sorry, I moved off the question before you answered it. I'm sorry.
Can you explain a little bit what that is? Because a lot of us have never heard of that before.
Yeah, what is shock probation?
Shock probation is just to where if you're sentenced to a state time, or it can be on the county side too, you have within 60 days to actually apply for shock probation, which is different from regular probation. It means that you're going to be on probation longer, but it means that the judge made more or less I'm trying to think of the best way to actually word this without completely getting into a bunch of legal mumbo jumbo. But more or less the judge has actually looked at your case again, seen that you're not an habitual offender, and he's making a special circumstance in your case, and he's going to give you that second chance. That's what I'm going to call it. It's just a second chance.
Does it show up on your record, JJ? I know in Indiana they do a shock probation, and if it's like your first charge and it's not bad, then it goes away if you complete it.
Now, granted, yes, after you walk off your shock probation, and yes, it will go in for an automatic expungement. I'm not sure the timeline on that, Billy, but I want to say it's 5 years. I might be mistaken on that, but I think it's 5 years.
Okay, thank you.
But the name shock probation implies it's something startling. Like
I'm thinking like shock therapy.
Yeah.
Or the use of Mr. Sparky.
Yeah.
That's funny.
All probation is shocking. Just saying.
Yeah, because I've heard some batty shit crazy people really need a good shock therapy program. I've just heard that.
Yeah,
right.
Yes, they do. Yes, they do.
Like instead of going in for, the UA, you go in and get yourself tased or something once a week, you know. Like they randomly, it's like random tasing instead of random drug testing, you know.
You get a tase, you get a tase, everybody gets a tase.
Yeah, I mean, it just implies something different. That's all. Yeah. So anyway, continue. Sorry.
Somehow, I think David Persons knew what he was asking, what kind of response we would give on that one. So I think he did that intentionally.
Of course, Jason Sebastian. Yes, I'm actually familiar with the Isaiah House. Actually, we've had several inmates from Meade County go to the Isaiah House, and it actually has one of the better names of halfway houses or actually rehab facilities across the state of Kentucky. So, have I ever been there? No, I have not ever been there, but we've sent a lot of inmates there, and it actually has a really, really good name for itself.
JJ, that is a school friend of mine. I've known him for about 30 years.
Hold on, you've been what now, Billy?
I said he's a good friend of mine. I've known him for about 30 years.
Okay.
Jason.
Okay. And absolutely, Casey. We got open door policy as long as we're not real busy. I mean, we would appreciate you calling an hour or two ahead of time. But anybody who ever wants to come in and check out our facility, whether you're a Meade County resident or wherever you're from, if you're in the area and you want to stop by, stop by.
I'll tell you this, Casey. Once you've seen them one, you've seen them all.
Oh, that was funny, Ray. I liked how you threw that in there.
I was right, yeah, that was another that was coming in my mind too. Oh, can you videotape? If he said that, you know he's going to have a big crowd tomorrow morning.
No, I know. Don't answer that question, JJ. Just don't answer that question. Plead the fifth. Plead the fifth. Oh, where are we here? I am trying to look for questions that we missed. So I know questions were coming in hot and heavy there at the end a little bit.
Yeah. Oh, yes. Yes. And that's why I said if we haven't asked you a question, please ask again.
There we go. Right there. I know Clark County, Indiana jail has a drug rehab program, and once their time is up, they go to a facility for continuing treatment. Does your facility have that, JJ?
No, we do not have anything that actually almost like, and the way that Clark County is set up, it's almost like Clark County is phase 1, and then they get out of jail, it's phase 2. So we don't have a program like that.
Now, I don't know if Will's being funny, or was he or is he being serious in the sense that looking at your books, your accounting books. Truthfully, it could be either way with him.
Knowing Will, he probably means both ways, and he's probably waiting for my response out of that. Yes, and the jails actually do get audited by a real auditor, actually like a certified accountant employed by the state auditor's office. But do auditors / frauditors actually have the right to actually come into jail and audit the jail? No, actually, jails actually fall into underneath the same criteria that jails and military bases with in the Constitution. So,
non-public forum.
I don't even think
exactly.
I don't think they would even get past the gates of prison in Indiana. I don't know how Kentucky is,
but they seem to think that they have the right. So but they don't. Anyway,
they try. Oh my goodness, they try. And
I think we're at the. They think we're at the bottom. I think there's no more questions there.
Okay, well, I do have a couple of things I'm going to pull up real quick, but to make a Will, please enjoy your bourbon in your little sippy cup.
Oh, okay. Be careful, Bet. Bet's dogs took off, and it's raining.
Oh, okay.
So she said she's got to hop off.
Okay, so she's in the private chat. Said that. Okay.
Yeah.
And there was one I saw. Where was it? Yeah, this one here. And I see you're making it a joke, but yeah. But you know, Will gets he has a bit too much fun, and that's actually not a bad thing. Having too much
No, fun is fun. Fun is good.
fun is fun. Fun is good.
Yeah.
Yes, yes.
But
And
but but you know that might be a good idea, and actually an invitation to Will. Will, why don't you, being that you're in law school, and I think it would further your education, and maybe you should take the trip down to Meade County and come down and let's do a walkthrough, and we can go over some stuff, and I'll let you have a look around. You can have a full tour of the facility. Don't you
Oh,
think
wow.
that'd be good for Will?
Does
Don't do
that
it, Will.
full tour include putting him in a cell and locking it and leaving?
It's a trap, Will.
I mean, tell me how that video would look on your all's YouTube channel with Will on the outside beating on the window saying, "Come on, guys, joke's over."
Joke's over. Yeah.
yeah, that would be good. Yeah, Will go visit JJ at Meade County Detention Center. I'm sure we can do a GoFundMe for that trip for you, right?
Absolutely.
I've got 20
Right.
towards it.
Yeah, and mentioning GoFundMe's, oh, of course, Hez
I
loves the idea.
I didn't think anyone heard me, Hez. There we go. Earl needs a vacation. JJ can host him for a week. Yeah.
But now that we were talking about GoFundMe's and everything, why don't we bring up that GoFundMe that you and I were talking about a little bit earlier, Ray?
Okay, let's do
Yeah.
that.
Yes. Yeah. So let me get that pulled up.
Alrighty.
Okay. Everyone celebrate. Oh my God, that went up.
Oh yeah, it did. Last I saw
Yeah.
it was at 5,000. So
Last time I saw it was at 2,000. So, and I've already did this. This is Chile de Castro's fundraising for lawyers. Now, everyone or most everyone knows he was convicted and is currently serving 180 days in jail.
Mhm.
We're going to go and we're going to we're going to talk about real quick how to report a GoFundMe that might be violating terms of service or their terms of service. Now, if you scroll down, you see that this bad. How do you donate and share? And where was that? Where was that button at? And it may not work for me because I've already reported.
I think it's under. I think it's under donate now. If you go to those three dots, I think it's under there. Might be somewhere in there.
No.
Okay.
I did it yesterday. That's what makes it so bad. Here we go. Down there, after you scroll down all the comments, see, you have to go all the way down to the below the comments, and then you report fundraiser.
Okay.
Here it describes why you can report it and everything, and then you have to determine why you're reporting it. Are you a donor who feels like you got that you feel there's something wrong afterwards, or are you a beneficiary, or are you reporting a fundraiser only, or reporting in? So I click right here.
The third one, yeah.
They've actually raised the money on that. It's up to 9,000, and somebody just donated 1,000.
Oh
Okay.
my God.
Oh wow.
Hey,
We just checked it on a different device.
It makes me wonder. You think Chile has this like GoFundMe software like interfaced over to like his jail canteen software where it's putting so much money on there a week? That way he has.
I don't think he has any control of it right now, and reason because he set this up last Sunday before he was convicted.
And it says 9,000 has been raised of 10,000, $9,329.
Right. So yeah. So go to and can we get a mod to go ahead and post that that link on the chat so that you know where to
Just
go to?
put it. Can you put it in private chat? Just hit copy up on share, or is it the link? Okay, yeah, hit copy and just put it in private chat, and I'll get it out to the. I'll get it out there.
Yep. There we
Hey,
go.
Hey, Doc.
Yeah.
I didn't, of course, I didn't tell everybody in the very beginning. I kind of got my times a little bit messed up, but I actually have somewhere that I have to be this evening. And I really do hate to jump off here, but I kind of need to. And
Can you give me 5 more minutes? I do want to bring up my next area, and then we'll finish it off.
Absolutely.
Yeah, I think this would be a good thing to bring up. So other night, and we'll go into more details about it after you jump off, but I do think your expertise will help us out on this. We were talking about Jeremiah Payne and the situation with his child and the frustration we have because CPS hands are tied due to the limitations they have. And it seems like Jeremiah figured a system out where if he keeps on just going to one jurisdiction from another, his little girl would not be taken from him. And we all agree that this is probably it's going to be better for her to get with either foster care or a family or someone that would properly raise her in a stable lifestyle. So in our discussion, we said what can be done, and the thing that came to our mind is NCIC, but for the CPS side of the house, something on the lines similar to that. And because in law enforcement, if you ran someone's ID, you would know if they have a felony sitting in another state somewhere, or if they are wanted somewhere else. Correct, JJ?
That's right.
So it seems like we might not have the same thing when it comes down to children that are in that type of situation where the parents know how to avoid CPS by just simply moving. But when if there's a database somewhere where that's federally maintained, funded like the NCISC is, that okay, we got this father's name is Jeremiah Payne. Wait, whoa, oh, we don't need to be asking them any questions. We just need to get her. We need to go ahead and take that little girl because this is ongoing in several counties. We need to get this taken care of instead of just make the first contact and make sure.
Yeah. Like it'll be a database where all of DC, like all the jurisdictions for DCFS would be connected. So even if they do go state to state to avoid them, any information about them, about the daughter, any judge's orders, anything that was related to it would be in there. So any jurisdiction could look it up and see what's going on with them. And if the daughter needs to be removed to go to like a placement or something, they can do it immediately without trying to interview them so they run away again.
So we suggested and thought about it and said that, okay, maybe what we need to do is start a letter writing campaign to our representatives, identifying that we think this is an issue that maybe that our federal government might need assist in creating a database that can assist CPSs across the country to find troubled children from what we can, let's just say it, deadbeat parents. Parents who are not properly taking care of their children. So we can get these, like Jeremiah. So we can get these kids into hopefully a more stable situation where they can grow up and avoid time with you, JJ.
I couldn't agree more. And of course, I can speak for Kentucky. I can't speak for all the other states, but I can speak for a lot of them that they don't have anything out, like this out there then that's being utilized.
Right.
And actually, the software, it's not like trying to create this is like trying to recreate a wheel. I mean, the software is already out there. Let's take NCIC. Let's take Kentucky One Health. All the medical records. I mean, it's you go to one hospital now in Kentucky.
The technology's there. It's
Yeah, the
there.
technology's there. So right
Well,
now,
no, listen, I moved from Illinois to Oregon. My records were here from Illinois. I mean, it's not just in your state, or it's
Mhm.
state to state. Your records for your medical will follow you. So, like he said, it's not reinventing the wheel. You could take one software and implement it for
Mhm.
another purpose. It's like repurposing something you found in your home that you're not using anymore.
And the
but
real trick is get it where it works in that situation. So that's going to take people that's way smarter than we are to do that, and get it working where it's not infringing on rights, and make sure policies and procedures are
Right.
written in that way. But JJ, you were getting ready to say something. I know you're in a hurry, so we're going to let.
I'm sorry.
Yeah.
no, you're fine. Which I know sometimes how the delay is, from one person to the next talking. So I get that.
Yeah.
But some of the big problems that I see with it, and of course, you could work through them, is obviously like NCIC. For me to have access to NCIC, you have to go through a lot of classes. You got to be actually signed off, by the FBI. There's a whole lot of protocols to go through. And obviously now, if you're jumping from adults to juveniles, well, now you're really handling some delicate information that could, affect a lot of people, possibly even, everything from affecting them later on down the road in life to actually putting them in harm's way. So you have the whole training aspect, the whole background. I mean, I could see several millions and millions of dollars it taking to implement this, getting the training, the people who are actually going to oversee this. Is it going to be the state police in your state? Is it going to be the FBI? What kind of, is this going to be a federally funded program? Is it going to be state to state? I mean, I see the logistics of it. It isn't something you could pass in legislative this year and it be implemented this time next year. I mean, it's going to be a work in progress. I mean, just entering past information in, each CPS office, which is understaffed now, it's going to take them to hire more people just to input this information into the
Right.
system. That system is going to have to be somehow linked to the NCIC system. So every
Or
time
something similar to it.
Jeremiah Payne gets pulled over, they can pull up his name and say, well, he was involved with 2 children for this, and they're looking for him out of Springfield, Kentucky. So they got to interface these systems together. So I mean, I hope it does get done. I think it would be great.
There's a lot of hurdles, definitely a lot of hurdles. And I think
Yes.
really the first thing is we got to get on the radar of the right people.
Yes.
And that's going to be our representatives. So
Yes.
if everyone looks on their screen right now, you can see I have this website, how to find your state, how you find your U.S. representative, house.gov/representatives, find your representative. And we're using a zip code for Leavenworth, Washington. So let's say that's where I live, and I want to know how to contact my representative. So I type in my zip code, and I click this button. And here we are. We got Kim Schreier. And this button right here is where you find her email address. And that's where you would start in touch with your representatives. I strongly encourage contacting your representative, not contacting every representative you can think of.
Yes, and I think if enough people would get behind this and actually help start pushing this through, getting eyes on this, then I think it would reach a point to where then you would start some kind of, I'm gonna call it fundraising, obviously, to be able to actually pay somebody to actually represent you, and more or less like have a lobbyist actually for this foundation, to actually get this stuff pushed through. Like you said, it's a process, but like anything else, you have to start somewhere. And yes, and actually starting at a local level and to a state level, that is where you start. If you want to make a change, that's how you start.
Yes, exactly. This is what we talk our First Amendment right to regress our government, and we are reaching out to our representatives and say, "Hey, we see a problem here. We think this would be a good idea to fix the problem. Can you please look into this? Can you have this discussion amongst your peers?" And
Yes.
hopefully, hopefully enough of these folks will listen to us and we'll start having that conversation.
Yes,
And what I'm
I
going to
mean,
do, and what I'm going to do is I'm going to take the clip of this discussion that we're having. I'm going to make a little clip of it and put it back up during the week, and I will try to send it to as many channels I can find that would actually support this, and ask them to help push this idea to their listeners, to their subscribers. So
absolutely.
it,
And I just have to say this. I mean, and wouldn't it, I'm talking to actually the people in the chat and actually the people watching, but and wouldn't that be quite the accomplishment? And to say that you was part of something that helped so many kids, and I mean, actually, not only kids, it would help so many women's women who been abused. I mean, this could actually just be the start of something really, really huge, not only for juveniles but also of victims of domestic abuse and stuff. I mean, this would be a wide array, of information. It'd be really good.
it would. It would be. And it's frustrating when you see a problem like Jeremiah's, and no, there's nothing you can't do. Well, I think we found something where we can get started,
Yes,
and
absolutely.
it does take that first step.
Mhm.
I agree.
Yes,
I
JJ,
mean, I just think it's worth a shot. Kids, there's nothing more worth it than the kids. So,
yes,
It's almost like an investment into the future, right? Right.
yes,
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 very much so,
absolutely.
very much so. That being said, JJ, I do appreciate you coming on. I think this has been a great show. You and Billy offered very good information. I'm going to reach out to you, JJ, for something for myself from the wood shop.
Always.
Expect that? Yeah, yeah.
Yeah, shoot. I appreciate you having me on there, and I appreciate everybody coming on and watching. And I actually enjoy your all's questions. I wish more people got involved, especially on a local level. Wish people got more involved, with the things that are going on locally in their community.
hmm
But
I'm going
yeah,
to. I will add this to it. Just kind of piggyback it off what you just said. Believe it or not, I'm starting to believe that being involved with your local government is more important than being involved with your federal government.
Grassroots, yeah. Yeah,
Grassroots, yes,
grassroots, yeah.
because
It's
more of your day to day living is affected by your local government.
that's right. That's
Yes.
exactly right.
yeah.
But yeah, shoot. It was,
Oh, and JJ, if you could just get my email from Doc, and you have the numbers whenever you.
yes, I know. Yeah, we got completely sidetracked. But
No,
yeah,
that's fine. Yeah, if
Yeah,
you can
that's fine.
just email me, that's fine. You can just email me the.
And what we'll do is next week's live stream, we'll actually give the listeners the numbers.
shoot.
Yeah,
Yeah.
we can.
Yeah. Yes.
Well, it was great being on here, and I really do appreciate it.
Yeah,
Yes.
thank
And
you
thank
so
you for
much.
coming. Thank you
It
for
was
coming.
great meeting you. Great meeting
Uh,
you.
Yes. Yes. Take care. JJ, take care. Have a good week at work. I'm sure I'll probably see you on the neighbors live stream real soon.
all right.
Yeah.
See y'all later.
All right. Take
Bye.
care. Bye. And that was JJ Scarborough. It was great to have him. Right. Right, Ray.
Oh God, yeah,
Yeah.
he's really knowledgeable about what he does. He didn't just say, "I don't know, I don't know, I have to get back to you. I don't know, I have to get back to you." He really seems to have his fingers in everything that he does. So I really like that. He seems great at what he does. So perfect for what he does. So
Yes, very much so. So quickly, I want to discuss programming notes for next week. Next week is Easter, so I've already put together the Easter video. Well, I actually recorded the Easter video. I hadn't edited it yet, but that'll probably be done tonight. Uh, and I'm glad you put that up. David E. Persons, are you going to be here next Sunday? Are you going to be the music for the next Sunday's live? People want to say Pearsons, but he's Persons.
persons, yeah.
Yeah, yeah.
I
But
mean,
when
there was somebody last night. I don't
Okay,
remember
great. Yeah.
Parsons. Somebody kept calling him Parsons.
Well, we're just gonna call them people because that's what persons are.
Yeah.
Yeah, great. That'll be awesome, David. Because what I want to do with the live stream itself is to kind of free, just whatever fun type thing. We'll probably do a live reading of like an Easter type story, like what was the character for Easter, like Peter Cottontail or something like that.
Sure.
Yeah, I think we could do a live reading for that. That would be fun. We'll probably do another Frank video.
Yeah, Bat will like that. I would like
Yeah,
that.
yeah. I will make that a little bit of a tradition uh, to do a Frank video, but I'm going to do it my way.
Okay.
Okay.
Are you
Thank you,
gonna?
Miss Casey. I love seeing that. I'm glad you enjoy it. I'll be honest. I feel like this is like one of the better streams I've done.
This is, yeah, it was a fantastic,
Yeah.
fantastic idea, fantastic stream. I think we all learned a great deal that we just didn't know before, you know.
Oh,
And
yes. I mean, yes. I've listened to JJ talk about things at the jail, and to me, it's like it would be good to have him come on and talk about that more. And I think we'll probably invite JJ again in the future.
yeah, because there's a lot more I think we all want to ask and learn,
Yes.
and you know, because he wasn't just knowledgeable about what he does.
Right.
He was knowledgeable about a lot in the prison because there were other
Right.
questions that people had, and I
And
could see why he
yes,
was elected.
yes. And you can tell not just because he's knowledgeable, but he's very obvious. He cares about the inmates,
Yes.
and it's to him. Personally, I think a good success story is that inmate that leaves and never returns.
Yeah, see, that's why I really wanted to know the reoffend rate, you know, for people that have actually done the programs and not done the programs. But I can guarantee you the reoffend rate is higher for those who don't do the programs. I mean,
Right.
I bet you the reoffend rate is close to zero on the people that get their GED and do the job training because they're set up for success when they leave.
Right. You're exactly. And it depends if they get back with also the bad influences in their life. If they stay away from those people, they'd be
Well, the
okay.
key,
But
yeah, the key to that is probably not going back to the same areas where you lived before. You know,
yes,
they probably
right.
teach them that in their counseling and all that stuff. So
But yeah, and that's every time we do, I see why do we have a repeat? A lot of times, it, I said it earlier, the person has to want to change.
yes, sir.
You can throw all kinds of money into the program, and if the person does not care, it will not succeed.
Right. I'm
But
sure there's some that just walk through it, do it through the motions just to get the time off, the early
right,
time. But then there's people like Billy who really get something out of it.
he wanted something out of it.
Right.
He wanted his life to be back normal.
Right.
And like I said, you just having that conversation, one-on-one conversation with Billy, you can tell this is a man that, yes, he made mistakes early in his life, but he put it back together.
Yep.
He put it back together. Him and his wife, they're taking care of Billy's little girl. Taking
Yep.
her, she's. I think I don't know if the tournament was for her or if it was for Billy, but they bowl together. They do things together.
Mm-hmm. He's an
And
excellent father.
yes,
And the thing what struck me about him when I first talked to him was how he owns his mistakes.
yes,
He does not
yes,
try and push them away, hide them, or poo-poo them, or blame them on someone else. He owns his mistakes, and he paid for his mistakes, and he turned his life around. He's an excellent father, an excellent husband. He does what he needs to do to be an excellent father and husband.
and
So
David.
you can't help but be proud of the guy. I mean,
And David, every person, you're absolutely right. I'm going to call him that. David, every person. Get it? Every. That's an E.
yeah,
Yeah.
I agree. We need to stop this guy. Him,
Yeah.
and there was another GoFundMe that we wanted to talk
Craig
about,
Hendry.
wasn't
Yeah.
there?
Craig Hendry.
Greg Henry.
Yeah, I have
Hendry.
not found. Yeah, Hendry. I hadn't found that link, but we do need to talk about do the same for him.
I'll find the link and I'll give it to you. You can post it on your community page.
Yeah, I'll put. That's a good
Yeah.
idea. Maybe, and since Hez is moving, we might just throw another live during the week. Unfortunately, it has to be in the evening because.
That's okay.
Yeah.
I vow to try and sleep in despite my
Yeah, I'm
cat.
not going. Yeah. I want you to sleep in. You do not. This is a week off for you too.
Yeah. Despite that cat, I'm gonna sleep in. I promise.
Yeah.
Sleep in.
Yeah. I saw another one.
Yeah.
That
See,
one.
this is what bothers me about these people. Chili, Craig Hendry, all these people. Like, if I were to start a GoFundMe for my medical issues and things, that side of the fence would vilify me. They would come
Oh gosh.
after me. They would just, it would be nothing but nastiness towards me, But they can do it for legal things and have $10,000 raised in a matter of 2 days or whatever, and
And
nobody says anything to them. It's
and it's
like,
just, and who put them in that situation where they need the money for the legal reasons? They
they
did.
don't. They don't, though. You know how much money they make on YouTube? They don't need it.
They don't. No. Yes, they don't need it. What these people are really doing at the end of the day is keeping them from spending 10K of their own money to to go so they can go on a vacation. You're in essence paying for their vacation. And Miss Linda, thank you very much. I do appreciate that.
What confuses me is it says it's for anybody in there that needs any order that needs a legal fund, right? But who's in control of it? Who
Mhm.
does it go to? It probably goes right to Chili, and he is
Yes.
not going to disperse it to anybody.
No.
Trust
No.
me, it's a scam.
No, yeah. And yes. And he might be asking for 10K, but he only need 1 or 2,000 to pay the lawyer. The rest
Right,
of it's going
and
to
you
his pocket.
when you report it, I don't remember if they give you a place to write something, but if they do, you gotta tell them that he went to jail for 6 months and
Uh-huh.
he committed a violent crime because he did push the cop and stuff.
Yeah.
So you gotta make sure you say that because it's against their terms of service to collect money for a legal fund for a violent crime.
Right.
So
Yes.
yeah, if they give you a spot to write, do that so they are more likely to pull it.
Yes.
So we really need to ask Frauditor watch how he got so many taken down because
He got out there. He got out there, and I'm going to try to coordinate with him, see if he can make some more videos because it's apparently he's getting it out there too about these guys, and he made videos about it, and we're just going to have to just kind of work together as a community because it is not right for these guys to harass people, get arrested, and then get people to get them out of jail.
Yeah.
They're doing the crime, but they're not enjoying the privileges of doing the crime, like in the time.
Right. Oh, Linda, I'm gonna find Craig Hendry's link and we'll post it. I'll post it on Hez's community page, and Doc will post it on his.
Right.
And so you guys can find it. Okay.
Right.
And then we'll report both of them, Chili's and Hendry's.
Yeah. And I want to say thank you to Miss Dexy for that nice comment. And and Miss Anya, you are very welcome. Good luck with bowling tonight. Rooting for you guys. I feel sorry for you when Batty gets there on his life and starts to cut up.
Okay, I'm going to need for you not to make fun of me because I just had to go chase after dogs.
In the rain.
Tired. I'm tired.
All right.
In the rain, you poor thing. Oh my God. You are having a day.
That's my life.
Wow. Yep. That's it, That's it.
Oh, well,
Oh, we had the same thought again.
yes,
Gee.
yes. It's kind of scary how well we think.
Right?
Yes, yes. I mean, you know what I forgot to do?
What?
I forgot to read the romance story.
Oh, gosh.
Should I do
Well,
that?
please, just a little bit of it. Maybe a couple
Okay.
paragraphs or something. Yeah.
Okay. All
Yeah,
right. I'll read it.
definitely.
I'll read it. I'll read it. All right. And I have a little background music. Let's see. Let me find which background music I want.
Thank you, Michael.
Here we go. This will work.
Oh, there he is.
Hey, all right. So we're going to read Things We Never Got Over. And what was that person's name that wrote that story? By Lucy Score. And we're reading chapter 1, Worst Day Ever. And it starts off with about Naomi. I wasn't sure what to expect when I walked into Cafe Rev, but it sure as hell wasn't a picture of myself behind the register under the cheery headline, Do Not Serve. A yellow, frowny face magnet held the photo in place. First of all, I never set foot in the Knocky Mount, Virginia, let alone done anything to warrant a punishment as egregious as withholding caffeine. Second, just what did a person have to do in the dusty little town to have a mugshot hanging in the local cafe? Mugshot. Because I was in a cafe. Gosh, I was funny then. I wasn't. I was too tired to blink. Anyway, thirdly, it was an incredibly unflattering picture. I looked like I had a long-term threesome with a tanning bed and a cheap eyeliner. Right about then, reality penetrated my exhausted, dazed bobby pin to within an inch of its life head. Once again, he had managed to make my life just a little bit worse. And considering that had gone down in the last 24 hours, that was saying something. Can I help? The man up on the other side of the counter, the one who could give me a precious latte, took a step back and held up his hands the size of a dinner plate. I don't want any trouble. He was a burly guy with smooth, dark skin and shaved, nicely shaped head. His neatly trimmed beard was snow white, and I spotted a couple of tattoos peeking out of the neck and sleeves of his coveralls. The name Justice was stitched on his curious uniform. I tried my most winning smile, but thanks to an overnight road trip spent crying through my fake eyelashes, it felt more like a grimace. That's not me, I said, pointing to a finger with a wasted French tip manicure at the photo. I'm Naomi Witt. And I'm going to stop it right there. I think that's it.
Oh, you didn't want to read the part about how hot the guy is?
I hadn't really read that part. This is like I just grabbed this off the.
Come on now.
What led to this idea was we were having a discussion about proper voices of the narrator for certain stories. And my comment was, my voice probably would not be appropriate voice for a romance novel, especially if it's if the narrator is supposed to be female. Of course, Ray comes back on. Well, that would be funny to hear.
It actually was. But you did a good job.
Yeah, I did like the music.
Yeah.
Great.
Yeah. Hey, Paul Clearwater, good to see you, sir.
Hi, Clearwater.
Yes. Okay. So again, we're going to wrap things up. Ray, if you can go into the folder and put up the picture for the outro as we wrap things up, I want to say thank everyone for being here. This was a great show. Clearwater, I hate that we're going. We've been here for 2 hours, but please listen to us after. Listen to the live stream. It'll be in the library for you to listen to. Great show. Again, next week our live stream will be a fun free for all, fire from the hips type of show where we do through live reading of some sort of I guess Peter Cottontail story. We'll definitely do another Frank video for Batty in the way that I like to do them.
And I will make sure, ladies, that I will pick a very good one for us to watch.
Don't worry, guys. I will make sure I have the control of the pause button.
You're so wrong.
Hold on a second. I'm sorry.
Okay. And I want to also thank our guests, JJ Scarbourough and Billy Meadows.
They were so great to come on here. Learned a lot today.
They were great. And of course, Miss Ray pushing the buttons, keeping this ship from sinking, excuse me.
Where do I put the outro pic? I mean, I don't. Where do I put it?
Let's put it. Oh, that's a good question. We can't do that. I should have set that up as a background on my camera. Yeah, I should have. Yeah, put it on the background on your virtual background of your camera, and close the lens, and we can put you as like the big screen if we wanted to do that.
Okay.
And of course, we want to thank Miss Batty for being here, keeping the show lively as always.
Well, thank you for having me. I love you guys.
And more importantly, all you guys that came in and joined us. It was great to have you. This was such a great show, and I think it was great because of you coming in and asking these questions of JJ. And we'll have JJ back. We'll have Billy back. But they did a superb job. I really enjoy it.
This actually was a great stream.
It was a great stream. Not saying that that the previous streams were awful, but we'll say that it was better than them. So
stop. Your streams are good. Don't worry about that.
Yeah. And there we go. Now, do you have a lens cover for your camera? No. Hang on. I got this.
I'll cover it though. I can cover
it. There we go. There we go. Now we got the picture. There we go.
Well, good night, everybody. I've got to go.
Good night, everybody. Yes, please email your stories, poems, music, art to j.lanewstories@gmail.com. As always, please like, subscribe, comment, and share. Until next time, take care of yourselves. Thank you for watching.